crisis and turbulence?
Yes, it turns out that basically we named it chaotics because we're talking about chaos, and the word is an invented word by us. I mean, a book gets more attention when there's something new and exciting. Although we do say it's the business of managing and marketing in the age of turbulence. Now, the point the book makes is this. We're going to live in a world that is more and more turbulent even after the recession is solved. In fact, the recession is just one aspect of turbulence. Why will there be heightened turbulence? Because we have two big forces and many smaller forces. The big forces are globalization and digitalization. Globalization means that more countries and companies and industries are interconnected in a somewhat fragile way. Because if you're an automobile company and you're depending on the shipment of braking systems that come from another country, and they've always come, but if something happens in that other country, a little civil war or something else, you get an interrupted supply chain. It affects so many other things. And so we say that the fact we're interdependent in the world now creates heightened possibilities of turbulence. And then the digitalization means that with great speed, news travels, good news and bad news. I sometimes say that the CEO of a company ought to sleep with an alarm clock and a telephone, because it's a 24-hour day, 7 days a week, and anything can happen to currency or to a competitor or a new technological breakthrough that should immediately be handled and responded to on such a basis. Now, the question becomes, how do you live with heightened turbulence as a company? Well, you need some systems. If you're sort of coasting along as if times are normal, you're going to miss the sources of a big shock, because we know that you can anticipate some of these things by operating an early warning system. That is to say, you're looking at the social, political, legal, economic, technological space and spotting things. But there are also things that might happen that cannot be spotted, but you can imagine them happening.
So you can project them.
And if you imagine, you go into a second thing besides early warning systems, you go into scenario planning. You imagine, what would you do if the world were bad? By that, the world economy. What would you do if it was full of opportunities? And you, for each scenario, you prepare some response plan. And then, since we don't know what scenario is going to take place, we're at least prepared for any one of them. And we can be quick, better prepared than our competitors to react. And so the book outlines a system called the chaotics management system. And by the way, it goes along also with the wish to make your budgets more flexible. So if the boss comes in one day suddenly and says, we have to cut 20% from the marketing budget, you know now what you can cut. It wasn't that you're saying it was unimportant, I was wasting your money. It's that it's less important than other ways of using the money in tough times. If he comes in, he says, look, there's so many new opportunities, I'll give you more money. Can you use it? What can you do with it? You should have an answer prepared.
So chaos is quite the in thing in the future.
It's some turbulence, and also I might say that some companies welcome it. You know who welcomes it? A company that has a lot of money and a very strong brand position. Chaos means that their competitors get weaker, and they can end up taking advantage by buying the competitor or the competitor's assets or the competitor's talent that had left the competitor because the competitor can't pay for that good talent. So it's a time of opportunity for some companies.
Yes. Professor, let's take a short break and we'll be back after this. Thank you for being with us. Now, let's talk about the future of management and marketing, Professor. Marketing and the future, what do you see? The current marketing strategy has proven to be profitable, but in some ways, well, the crisis has materialized from it. And you know, moving forward, what can you take and what should you leave behind for the future?
Yeah. we believe that the marketing has gone through evolution, and I could even detail all the concepts that came up by decade. But to collapse it all into a little story, the early marketing was done by companies who were essentially transaction-oriented. Make a sale. It wasn't that you had to know enough about the person who bought. You just, hey, I made a sale. We call that the transactional stage. Then it moved to the stage where we wanted to know who we sold to. We wanted to get the person back. We wanted to create a loyal customer. We wanted to create a customer who would talk about us, be an advocate. And that is the second stage called customer relationship marketing and management. We even have data systems now. We call it database marketing, where you have not only the names of everyone who bought your product, but when they bought it, what they bought, what their age is, their demographics, and so on. That's called database marketing. We're in the third stage now, where we're saying, you know, actually, we haven't used our customers in a way that they might like to be used, namely to help us move forward and develop the new products that they want. We have enough enthusiastic consumers at Harley-Davidson Company, at Lego Company, where they would like to be partners.
So it's moving on to something very personal. There's an interaction between consumers and the company.
There's dialogue. There is conversation. Why are customers always promoted to? They don't like it. They don't like to be promoted to. They would like to be in a conversation with you. Companies fail to give us the opportunity to talk to them and get more comfortable about what they're doing and getting answers to our questions.
Consumers are now always on internet social network like Facebook, Twitter. Is that the future of marketing?
Yeah, oh yes, absolutely. That captures a notion which is called customer empowerment, which has been missing from the marketplace. Most of what customers ever knew about a product came from one source, the TV 30-second commercial. And all the information was in the hands of the seller, not the buyer. Today, it's the reverse. Customer's king. You're not going to buy a car without going on the internet.
Definitely. Not even a cell phone or perfume.
And not only the internet. Aren't you going to go to your friends on Facebook or something and say, did you buy a Hyundai? How was it? I'm thinking of buying one. Do you think it would be smart for me to do? Most of us in the future will be